Welcome and good evening to Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms. This is Rav streaming to you live high above the keep in the hot air balloon tonight. As always, I have Neindorf with me. Neindorf, how you doing?
I'm doing great tonight. How about yourself?
All right. You know what? A little cold. We're here in Iowa
Yeah.
and we're going through a bit of a cold spell. Um, what was it with the wind chill? Felt like negative 40 the other day. It's cold in our house, that's for sure. So we're kind of we're surviving at the Raff household, but we're doing okay.
So this isn't the question of the day, but did you know they make bubbles that you can blow outside that freeze?
No, I didn't know that. That sounds
Yeah,
like fun.
The Gen ones had those outside the other day. They wanted to brave the cold for a few minutes. We only let them stay out there for a few minutes, and I tell you what, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So we forgot to do apology to the community out there. We forgot to spin the wheel last time around. So we are going to spin the wheel tonight for two separate reasons. Once we get to the end, we're going to spin the wheel three times tonight for all of our listeners. And again, it's a must be present to win. And then we are also going to be spinning the wheel tonight for um, our gold raffle. And so we're going to spin that three times to promote burning gold as always. Still trying to lean into that. And I think you're also going to be putting some, well, that's the juice that we're putting in it. So have fun with us. So, Neindorf, why don't you take us away with the question of the day? Oh, and I don't
Yeah.
even have the right, I have an outdated question of the day.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that.
No
That
worries.
that won't do. Let me update this quickly on the fly here. That was the
This is
Bitcoin ETF.
the joys of going live.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
And the transition is
It's not showing.
no worries.
All right. Our question of the day. You know it ahead of time. Go
I
ahead.
do. What are friends with benefits?
Wait. What?
Well, why that's us, of course.
Right.
We are ADFK, we're your friends, and there are benefits to being a friend of the ADFK community.
I love it. All right. So let me jump over into the screen of the site here. So we put up a brand new page, subscriber benefits, and we had some fun with the image making. The first two images that I made got sent back. They were they were a little too risque.
Yeah,
So
it was not a PG, it was maybe a PG-13 kind
PG
of image, I
13
would say.
image, yeah. Hit us up for AI after dark if those images later. Um, all right. So one of the things that we've gotten asked about a lot is, not only how do you subscribe, but if you subscribe to the site, which is our paid features on Slight Time, which we want you to subscribe to YouTube, but this is not that. What do you gain access to? And we decided to outline all of these features, and there's things that I've forgotten about that I'm not even using. Pet data for one, and guild management. I forgot about that feature out there, and that's a quick reminder that if you're running a guild out there, you can have all your guild members from matches of your guild, and presumably you trust the people in your guild a lot more than you do a random Joe Schmo. So this isn't financial advice. You you trust your guild members as far as you want to, but we've done some Gen Zero uh, trade summoning shares here at ADFK, and why not for people who trust their guild members?
Well, yeah, and you can even do like the private rentals too for like one jade or one crystal, and at that point, there's really nothing wrong that could happen.
Right. Well, thanks for pulling this page together. And I know you have a lot more development in the works, and we're continuing
We do.
to lean into the premium features, and that's probably what we're going to talk about in the learning section of the day with what Neindorf is learning.
Most
So
likely, yes, absolutely. That's a great place.
let's keep things moving along. First, we'll go to community. Sticks intern saying AI after dark sounds good. Yes, I need to get
Yeah,
back to that.
you have you put one of those out recently?
I have not. I need to get into that here soon. So, these first two kind of go together. We have Bloater Connect saying we chose 5 people who help share the love of bloat, and then we have the next one, Flu, saying what the f is bloat. But my notifications are certainly bloated because of it. I'm too afraid to ask at this point. I kind of feel the same way. I have been off the bloat train. I feel like I can't even manage the heroes that are in my wallet. That's what I said in guild chat. Let alone allow my brain to have the cognitive capacity to start thinking about other things. So I don't know. Do you have any comments on bloat?
You know, I dabble. I thought, what the heck? I'll throw a little bit. I had a little bit of AVAX sitting on C chain still, so I bought a few bloat, I guess. Well, I don't know, like 9 digits worth of bloat, but turns out that's not a lot. That's not a lot of bloat. So it's just kind of fun. I keep the chart up. I just want to look at it. I think it's a fun thing. I love what they're doing with it. They're just trying to use a meme coin to draw attention to DFK. So I think it's great.
And reading through some of the chats here, it looks like I'm having some issues with my internet, and I'm certainly having a lot of drop frame rates going on right now. This has happened when we've been in a massive tundra cold storm the last time too. So my apologies to everyone. You're gonna have to kind of grin and grit through this one. I don't think there's much I can do on the fly. My ISP is just lousy. So let me see if I can change
It's freezing
maybe
out.
to a lower quality. I don't know if it'll allow me to change to a lower quality on the fly, um, but we're gonna try to do that and see if it'll pull through. All right. Um, then here we have Cujo coming in as the hero on Discord that we need. They got it by sim swapping. He's talking about the hack of DFK Twitter. That's not possible without bribing or otherwise convincing someone who works from the provider to do this. And so someone asked, so is this account dead? And they're referring to DeFi Kingdom's main Twitter account. He said, no, X can't do anything. The person replies, and they said, surely they can. It takes 30 days, apparently, unless you're the SEC. Sick burn. brutal,
Oof.
brutal take.
Brutal take.
Brutal take here by Cujo. That's right. We do not move the needle like the SEC does, apparently. So when, Elon, when. All right. And then the last item I had on the slideshow. Or that was the last item I had on the slideshow. Okay. So let's go to the learning section now. All right. So what am I learning? Ref getting learned. When equipment good. And so, or what equipment good. I'm going to start in the profit section. I'm going to start deep diving into equipment and inviting a guild member or a listener out there to come join us. We're creating the framework of how to evaluate equipment, and we'd love someone to help us with the analysis and come on the pod next week. So this is an open invitation to our listeners out there. And then I also learned on a separate note, and I can share this later, keep playing the odds. I've been summoning, and I had a pretty sick summon here recently. I did release a quick YouTube video on it where I got a mythic ninja with Last Stand. So pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. No doubt.
And Neindorf, you're an MLer now, which is not to be confused with another two-letter M
Yeah.
abbreviation. But what's it mean to be an MLer?
Yeah, I'm dabbling into some of the machine learning stuff. It's, you know, I've kind of been meaning to do it. It's kind of been all the rage in the last years, and I thought, let's just see what we can do, and play around with, possibly evaluating hero pricing by looking at data in tavern sales. There's so much data out there on DFK, and it's I'm kind of taking this as my next opportunity to teach myself a skill, and so it's definitely been a lot of fun learning it. There's so much terminology in machine learning, and drinking from the fire hose here, but I think I'm getting at least a rough cut. I can punch in a hero number and I can have it spit out a approximate crystal value. And that's kind of my goal here is to see, what are values of these heroes. And then eventually if it's successful and I'm able to accurately predict, it might be a thing where we might build it into the site and says, hey, here's your wallet, here's the rough estimated value of the heroes that you're holding. But again, that's going to depend on comparable sales. So, if you've got a really unique hero out there, that'll be a tough sell. So we'll see where we can get with this. I hope I can eventually use this learning opportunity to, like I said, to enhance our site, the ADFK app. But if I can't get it predictable, we'll keep working it. But at least it's a fun thing that it's got me, really interested in the data again.
Yeah. And the thing that I love about this is it's not financial advice, which has been something that's always kind of concerned us about trying to do expected value for heroes, because it is just reflecting what is the market value. So, like, how are other people, you know, basically treating the market? So we're just analyzing and reflecting, mirroring what some of that market information is. So,
Yeah, you're right. And we've talked about this a little bit, but they have what they call features in a machine learning model, and each feature is kind of like it's like a column in your Excel sheet where you're like, oh, this is how many, what's the rarity column. So that feature is obviously a pretty good tell as to the price of a hero. Another one I thought was kind of fun. This is something I had learned where, originally I had just a generation column, and that was it's kind of a muddy column because a Gen 30, there's some of those out there versus a Gen 20 or a Gen 5 really doesn't matter.
right.
But if it's a Gen 0, that for sure matters. And I thought is Gen 1 mattered too, but my bit of learning here was it's not the fact that it's a Gen 1 that matters. It's the fact that it matters if it's a Gen 1 and it has 10 out of 10 summons left that
Right.
adds value. So, those are the sorts of
Combination
things.
of features. Yeah.
Correct. Some derivative features, I'll call them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the learning is right now for me on how we can tune this and, appropriately give the algorithms the right data so that it can predict hero prices.
Love it, and can't wait for that to get into this. For us to get into this more. So now I'm almost thinking we need to create a constant segment called "Never Tell Me the Odds." But I'm
Yes.
worried the Disney Empire might come after us. And this is where we start talking about numbers, and so the first thing that I wanted to dive into, just a quick reminder, a refresh, or jump back into. I had been building my profit strategy. Step one, high summons elite passive. Step two, get second life. Three, summon for more second life. Four, summon for rarity. And you gave me some advice on kind of like what to do for step five, summon for stats. And I thought that would be good to talk about here. And so that one. All right. So latest summoning wins is what I wanted to go through quickly. And then, Neindorf, your thoughts on step five. You mentioned that you really want to be going after, as best that you can, controlling that subclass when you're
Right.
using that greater stone. And so, kind of walk through. You don't have to reveal all of your secret strategies, but walk through what controlling that subclass means to you.
Yeah, you're basically stacking percentages. Because if you look at what is a greater stone is right the most powerful summoning item right now, always will be probably. Uh, it really has a huge impact on the subclass growth rate of the stat you choose. Um, and so, it's a 21% boost. If you add that to, say, you have a wizard subclass and you're adding that to wisdom, so you're already starting at 20%. Now you add 21 to that, you're at 41. If you add a greater crystal, wow, you are now at like 86% chance to get basically a triple stat boost on every level up for the stat that you're choosing to maximize. And if you don't guarantee that subclass. Like say, you can never fully guarantee it, of course, but right, say you have, like you said, a wizard subclass, but R1's a scholar. Okay, you still have a really high probability of wisdom and intelligence. That's great. You want to try to do that on both parents such that you're not likely to get hosed. I had a couple where I was doing some legendary summons, dark summons with the Greater Stone, and man, it snuck through. Sometimes you had the like R1 or even R2 sneak through, and it's like that's when you can really mess up that Greater Stone.
Yeah, that and it's you got to be careful for that. Yeah, it's slipping through those R1s or R2s because it
And you
feels
can't
like a
control it,
waste.
right? At some point, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, this guy I have up on screen now. My latest win. So I gotta take a moment to
That's
brag.
awesome.
Do a victory lap here. I did summon a ninja in the primary class, and then it was like a ninja paladin with a paladin ninja, and they ended up striking together. Either I would have been happy either way if it would have been paladin paladin or ninja ninja. Um, but I do like the ninja class and pretty happy with this how it turned out. Again, getting that class or getting that those look. I mean, look at that agility percentage increase. Now
Yeah.
I didn't stone agility. I was going for second life, and so I used a greater vigor stone. Um,
Ooh, that's gonna be good.
and so his vitality score is just off the charts right now. Um, level 6, I'm pretty sure. Well, let's just jump over into hero data. Look at him here. And we are not quite the highest HP. There's one person who it appears is slightly higher than us by maybe like 7 HP points. And I'm
Yeah.
definitely the highest vitality score out there. So, and
Oh,
the
that'll
thing
pay
that I'm really
dividends.
happy about is agility is still holding pace in the upper quartile, and that's because he's got that subclass, and dexterity is also holding pace as well. And when I was looking at the growth stats for ninjas, they can actually get um, large health level ups every 25% of the time, which was surprisingly large to me. It's 50% medium and then 25% on each end. And so
Okay.
he doesn't seem like the worst possible hero to do the greater summon or the greater vigor crystal on, but I've been kind of swapping it back and forth. And I also used greater atonement crystal on level 1, and I got one of those over here in agility. And I actually got
Nice.
the other one here on vitality.
Oh,
So
dude, that's
that
awesome.
was pretty neat that I got up to 35%. And so I used the greater vigor crystal a couple times, and I actually then switched over to using the greater agility crystal because I want to make sure I'm boosting his agility too. Um,
Yep.
and so
You
I
know,
think I'm going to kind of alternate between the two and not necessarily go for min maxing.
I'm seeing a really interesting duels hero, by the way. That's something that I'm keeping an eye out
Mm.
for now. Because you have
Yeah.
two stats that are kind of slightly off. You wouldn't necessarily maybe be maxing those for this hero
Right.
necessarily. And I think that can be a really powerful duels hero then.
Yeah. So that's kind of playing the odds here. Definitely had some bad beats as I shared last time with total summoning value and where I was at, and I feel like I recovered on this one. So yeah, happy to play the odds. All right, let's go back, and I think that was all we had for the profit section to talk about today. They never told me the odds section. All right,
Yes.
let's do. Oh, actually, no. The other piece that we were going to do is talk about stones, or excuse me, equipment.
Yes.
All right, so this is a preview for next time. Spreadsheet that I'm making up, and I was just doing some not tavern sleuthing, but looking at the purchase price of items, and so going out here to equipment. And the reason I started thinking about items and accessories, weapons, is there is a Mythic Squad tournament coming up. Shout out to the Mythic Squad guys that Get your entries in. It is next Saturday, the 27th. So not this Saturday, the 20th, but the following Saturday, the 27th. And we've been having some guild discussions around how do you set yourself up for success. And then you mentioned out of the blue in guild chat the other day that Workhorse bought up a whole bunch of items. And I wanted to spend some time looking at the items and starting to figure out what are they good for and how do they actually help you practically. Because when I look at some of these numbers, I get really lost in the minutia. And this is where we would like to invite someone else on to help us out, to dive into practically what are the improvements that you see when you have pants that raise your speed by 8.4%. Do you have a higher likelihood of going first with that boost? And what does that mean for your heroes? And is that important, or will that be important in the future? And then when I was looking at the weapons specifically, Gore staff and how they compare to the Squire staff weapon. Squire staffs have 45 base damage and then multipliers of 0.7 times your intelligence and 0.4 times your wisdom. And then when you look at the upgraded version of that, so the Gore weapon, the Gore staff, it has a 50 base and a 0.8 intelligence modifier and a 0.4 wisdom modifier. So wisdom actually stays the same and intelligence goes up by a little bit. But you also gain these abilities. The ability to inflict daze while an enemy is channeling. That's could actually be considered almost bad during the current hunt, but I bet that turns around next hunt would be my speculation. So the thing that I want help with, Neindorf, is like, what does this mean when I'm going into battle? Like with the Gore Blade on a level 12 warrior, and maybe come up with some functional examples next time, but I'm hitting how many points harder with the Gore Blade than a regular blade? Am I less likely to need a potion because of that?
Right. Yeah. I have probably 4 or 5 heroes with an item equipped, and I definitely saw an increase in damage. Um, Unfortunately, I wasn't great at keeping records. I could probably go back and rewatch, old replays. But I think that's kind of part of the homework we're talking about here. If anybody's already done that, they've said, hey, hero does 85 to 95 damage, and then they went to 89 to 102 or whatever the numbers might be. If someone has data like that, let us know, because that's kind of what we're looking to do here, is to plot the delta on damage and accuracy numbers, so that, as you're saying, in a given hunt, what is the impact of applying a Gore Blade? And I think that'll be a really cool exercise. You know, I think we will be a little surprised that it's not a huge impact,
Mm-hmm.
but keep in mind, this is like the first gear drops that we've gotten from this game. What game have you ever started where you go out there and you get the best gear the first drop you get, right? That's never going to happen.
And
That elite gears down the road.
especially when you start thinking about what PvP will be like in the future, that's
Right.
where when you're playing on the margins, you are that much better off. And we were talking a little bit pre-stream, but like one idea I have is like with pants, like it does not take much to be the fastest character in a boar hunt, to go faster than the little boars. That doesn't matter
Right.
much. But when you're playing PvP, if you have speed pants on a speedy hero and you also have stun, the elite ability on that hero, and your first move is to disrupt whatever combo they want to go into, like, do speed pants suddenly become that much more valuable? I played other turn-based games, namely Pokemon, and there was certainly a value played on the characters that could go fastest, because going first and getting your move out, whether it's a stun, a daze, you are now forcing them to react in some way. Even if like you're forcing them to equip items that like resist that, like you've already started, influencing your opponent's decisions on turn one. So I think that's something to look out for that could potentially be a lot more valuable in the future. The speed increases.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it's crazy to me how wide this range is, or even evasion. If you start to stack evasion and you are an agility and luck maxi hero like a thief or a ninja, and or monk, and then you also have other abilities that also increase your evasion. If you take 2.8% plus your other abilities, let's say you get to 10% evasion, like you get just missed 1 out of every 10 times in a match. Like that could be a tide turner right there. So I'm actually kind of
Oh yeah.
surprised by the Pants scores here. I'm kind of bullish on Pants in the long term.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I like analogies, and I think it's kind of like, with the NFL playoffs kicking off here, it's kind of like if you win the toss, you automatically get a field goal, right?
Hmm.
It's like you said, you starting ahead and you can put points on the board immediately. So I think yeah, I hadn't really considered it before, and the pants I was kind of disappointed in the pants when they first came out, but I have faith the game master will show us the way.
Yeah. And remember also, all of these items have enchantment slots. Like,
Oh yeah.
what if there's a mythic enchantment that doubles the effectiveness of that item? Like
Yeah.
just a single, like you could come out with, like, they can create balancing mechanisms through enchantments. Like they could instantly create something that attaches only to this kind of accessory that increases status resistance. And that I feel like there's a ton of flexibility in the future for these. The one thing I should note that I thought was kind of funny is, and I didn't realize this at first, as silly as it sounds, but pants are an accessory. They're not armor. All of these items are accessories, and so they are competing for space. Like I was thinking, like, what if you had a Charger's mask, which increases your damage, decreases your accuracy, and you also had a Scali's eye, which increases your accuracy, but you can't stack these,
Ah,
um, because you can only, on your hero, you can only have one accessory, and
yeah.
pants fit the accessory spot, not the armor slot. So
And
I thought that
that's
was interesting.
it is, and I was kind of interested in that as well when you had that like you had that up in the slots, you know, that's something to definitely keep in mind as new items come out. And I'm pretty sure they suggested that there will be more new items with this next hunt. So I hope they're all weapons. I hope you see some weapons that, you know, can help some of our other heroes, maybe a dagger, or something cool like that, or a spear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, keeping an eye on those slots and what is the universe of possible equipment pieces that can fit into all of them is going to be harder and harder as each hunt and more equipment drops because the permutations of those that you can do to, you know, not break the game per se, but to maximize these awesome builds.
Yeah. So my reckless speculation here is, the Mama Board charging, which is a channel ability, is a good thing. You actually want the Mama Board charging because it enables you to kill off the baby boars.
Right.
I
Yeah,
think
Rampage is a pain.
I think that in the next version of whatever we're calling this, I bet that the enemies are going to channel, and it's a bad thing. And so my guess is that the staff is going to skyrocket in value and actually flip and become the most valuable item. Just
Interesting.
total reckless speculation, but I could see them trying to pull a fun one on us like that. So I don't know. This is not
Oh
financial
yeah.
advice. Don't go buy a whole bunch of staffs just because you heard me say it. Do it because you saw Workhorse do it.
Nice. I have two predictions, and I don't know which one I hope is first. I could see, definitely could see there being, wizard-like enemies, whatever that shape they take, where they're building their action points and then channeling like you're talking about. I would also really love to see a thief-like enemy. Like maybe it's like you're in the
Mm.
woods and it's like a monkey will come down and it'll steal your potion right out of your pocket, and you're like, damn monkey. Like yeah, those would be two really crazy,
Damn
like,
dirty apes.
yes. Uh, those are the two. I want to see one or two or both of those would be really cool. But yeah, I'm super stoked for the next hunt.
Yeah, me too. And it feels like close now that they in the last AMA they released the kind of the roadmap. Every time they've done a roadmap, it feels like it's 4 weeks away. That's just kind of rough math going on recollection. Maybe 4 to 8 weeks away. So I mean, we're close. We'll definitely have time to get this Mythic Squad tournament off, and then who knows? Maybe it's time to start gearing up for the next tournament. So I can't wait. All right, let's spin the wheels here tonight. Let's give away some fun items. Um, so first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to spin 3 times, and this is the adding the juice for the raffle. And so these 3 items that we select are going to go into the gold burning raffle. All right,
Right.
regular crystal.
Oh, that's awesome.
It landed in the same place.
That's not
Another
supposed to happen.
regular crystal.
Whoa.
If it lands in the same place again, then we apparently need a shuffle.
So while we're doing this, do you have
Okay,
any
that's
thoughts on?
it wasn't the same place.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so
Do you have any thoughts
check.
on the bonus mystery mechanic that they have in their Void Hunt checklist?
Um,
Any wild speculation there?
I mean, we tried to ask Hubert if it was like we kind of flat out asked him if it was thief because of the battle mechanic, and he said thieves are not coming out next. But it makes me wonder if they're still building the maybe the bonus mechanic is something like a thief, but it's the enemy. Maybe you're
Right.
right.
And they didn't, because it doesn't say here that it's a mechanic that your hero can utilize.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't that be just a kick in the where if you try to bring your potions and then you're not allowed to bring 2 of them.
Actually, yeah. So the way Hubert has phrased it is that
It doesn't take
they're
them.
building out more mechanics, so
Yeah.
they don't have to build them out in the future. So I could foresee them being thief-like mechanics on an enemy, not because the thief's not done yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be pretty awesome, I
All
think.
right. So, I'm going to go ahead and summon this Gen 1 10 out of 10 that's making it into the gold raffle. So again, remind our listeners out there, how are you getting into the gold raffle and how do you win these 2 regular crystals and a Gen 1 10 out of 10?
Yeah, absolutely. Head over to our website, adfk.app, and there is a raffle page on the front. And effectively, what you can do is either you can connect to the site using like MetaMask, or if you don't really want to connect to our site, I know a lot of people don't trust connecting to sites. On that gold raffle page, there's an address, and if you have a registered wallet on our site with an account, and you send gold to that address from your registered wallet, you'll get credit for it and you'll get entries. And if you have a Discord linked in your account, you'll also get a Discord notification saying, "Hey, you've got so many entries," and you can kind of see that on the site then too after you refresh. So basically, yeah, you just got to send in gold, and that'll get you accounted for. And again, remember, we burn half of all the gold. Is it a third? I think it's a third of all the gold. I forget exactly. Um, we seed the next raffle, we pay the winner, and then we burn gold. So it's a
Yep.
nice, the fun little thing we put together a few months back, and it kind of stalled out a little bit, and we kind of forgot and stopped focusing on it. But I think I'm glad you brought it back up, and let's get some,
Yeah.
let's burn some more gold again.
Yeah, and a reminder that like this like we're not taking like ADFK is not taking any profits for this. Like this is
Oh
just
no,
for
you.
the good of the economy. Like this is
That's right.
because it's the right thing to do, and we still need the economy boosters. Now, I think that'll turn around once potions come out. The economy will start moving in the right direction. So I'm excited for that. All right, well, I'm trying to summon this Gen 1, and he's not going. So let's do this. I'm going to now jump onto YouTube chat. Actually, help me with the names of people that you've seen jump into YouTube chat here tonight. And we will start adding
Yeah, let
people.
me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Well, Sticks intern's been around the whole time. We appreciate that. We got KP in here.
Must
Got
be
Ben
present to win.
Force. Yeah, he's still here chugging.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, just start
Got Ben
listing them out.
Torch just popping in, catching up on double speed. Love it. We got Ogre.
Okay.
We got Kupo. Hopefully he's still around. I'm scrolling up a little bit here.
Can you say that one more time?
Dags.
Dags.
Let's see.
You're
Two Noobs is there.
Two Noobs. Okay.
We got Sergeant in the house, I believe. Let's see if these people are still here again.
All right.
They're going back. Who else am I missing? Was there here?
You're kind of breaking up and getting a little quiet on us.
Oh, sorry, Eric too, and that's I think.
Okay.
I was turning my head, looking over at my second screen. Sorry.
That's all right.
I think that's about.
I see. There's a Rider. Sir Worm.
Oh, those are way up at the top. I see them now.
I'll go all the way back. Yeah. Rubedo.
I appreciate the chat, guys. I need to be keeping track of this. There's some good chatter here.
Yeah. All right. So the first item, spinning away here. And the first item won. Okay, it has landed here every single time. So this is weird. And I think it is supposed to be random every time. All right, so we'll do a Gen 1 10 out of 10. And that is going to be won by...
There it goes. That was a pretty lackadaisical spin there for a moment.
Yeah. Won by Ryder. Must be present to win. His name was up pretty high on the list. So say
lifting lazily to the left.
Yeah. Say that you're present, Ryder, and you could go ahead and win this. Got to say that here in the next couple minutes, otherwise we are going to redraw. So going on to the next name or the next item that we're giving out. Ooh, buddy. Regular stone.
Nice.
That's hot.
Those are fun to give out. I'm not gonna lie.
Those are real fun to give out. And that one goes to... Sticks Intern. All right, give us a present. We know you're here, Sticks Intern. Give us a present to claim your prize. And the last item of the night is a regular crystal.
All right. We'll have to look at the balance we have left in our wallet. I'm not sure what... We haven't really decided what flavors of these they are, have we?
No, we haven't. Let's do...
I can pull that up on the side here.
Yeah. We got Ben
I remember
Force.
What is that?
Congrats to Ben Force. All right, so jumping on the chat. I do not see... Who was it? Was it Ryder or Rubedo? I can't remember. The first R. Do not see...
Let's do Might. What do you feel?
Let's
Should we do some Might?
Yeah, let's do Mites.
All right, people like Might. Let's do it.
Okay, so... I don't see the first person here. No, Sticks Intern, you won a regular stone, a Might Stone. All right, so we are going to spin for the Gen 1 10 out of 10 again. And I see AA Free here, Wagme here, and Emerging here.
Yeah, you're going to update that?
So I'm going to add those names.
Very nice.
Okay.
All right.
So this is spinning.
Once we get these winners, just DM me on I will distribute them either tonight or tomorrow.
Okay. Two noobs.
Noob's nice.
Give us a shout out. All right. Well, I see Ben Force here still. I see Sticks Intern here. So let's go ahead and toot noobs. We'll wait a couple more. We'll wait another minute for you to make sure that you're shouting out present here to win. So that will be awesome. Love to give that to you. I know you've been a follower and a watcher before, and have I believe won another time. So congratulations to you, sir. All right. Any items that you have as kind of closing remarks as we give two noobs a chance to shout us
Um,
out?
I think, all this, the talk of, boar hunting and equipment. I think something else that we might try to do, again, more in the back in the lab here. We used to have that combat app. Remember that back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
um, when we had no clue what it was going to look like. That might be something that we consider resurrecting here in the near future. And if there's analysis on what are the hit percentages and all that stuff with your team of three, I think that would be another really cool feature. So that might be something we're looking into, kind of dusting off and updating with all of this newest information. Oh,
Just
these guys.
yeah, I'm just reading chat now.
I know, it's pretty funny.
Okay, do we need to?
Ryder,
Was it Ryder that got it right? I think
yeah,
so.
I see him on now. Just say present, which you obviously are.
Yeah. All right. Ryder, do you have? I feel bad because it's been a tough stream to watch. From the
Yeah, I hear
feedback
you.
that we're getting,
Hopefully it cleaned up.
I don't know. I'm not confident in my internet service provider's capability to correct things. Okay, Ryder. Um, I, since we can't go back at the moment, we can't verify. But I see you're here, so excellent. We'll get it. We'll get it straightened
We'll,
out
we'll
next
keep
time.
we'll keep the might item. It isn't going anywhere.
Right.
DM me. We'll get it figured out.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. Well, this is Raf and Neindorf signing off. A quick shout out again to help us talk about these items next time. So DM us if you want to be a part of that. We're looking forward to it. If you want an item, shoot us a DM and we'll get that. We'll get your address down and we'll get that over to you. So thank you. Take care and have a great night.